Hi guys, welcome to Soccernet Weekly. I'm the chief editor of Soccernet.ng, Oluwajoba Ogunwale, and I'll be discussing with the managing editor, Lolade Adewuyi. Hi Lolade, good to have you back on the show.
Hey, Joba, what's up, man? Good to see you again.
Yeah, I'm good. You live in Germany and the Bundesliga is about to make a return on Saturday. What has been the reaction from Germans so far to see live football back?
Well, I mean, for the Bundesliga to return, it's a really good thing for the economy, for the society to, return to some semblance of sanity, normalcy. For me, I'm also excited to be able to see football back on TV again. It's been a long time. What we've been seeing all this time has been recordings, classic games, and getting even watching basketball's greatest Michael Jordan's last dance on Netflix. So just for the fact that we are able to see fresh players coming out of the COVID lockdown and then getting onto the pitch, live games, it's really good. It's really good for me personally, and but also I believe that it's really good for the brand Bundesliga because it's the first real top level professional sports competition in the world to return to our screens, and so this is an opportunity for them to to grab the market share of viewers, of eyes. So I think it's a real masterclass for the marketing of the business, that the Bundesliga is returning at a time where live sport is been gone for more than 2 months, so it's an opportunity for them to crack the momentum and capture eyeballs because many people, millions of people all over the world are going to tune in to just be able to see how they did it or how they are going to do it, how they are going to achieve, or being back on the field for all the players, in terms of their health and things. So it's a really big coup for the Bundesliga to be the league leading this return to football, to live football again. And so I think in terms of brand equity, it's massive for them. And I won't be surprised to see them gain a lot of marketing opportunities ahead of their rivals like the Premier League and La Liga and Serie A, because they've returned and they've taken precautions to do this. So it's from a business marketing perspective, I think it's a really good coup for the Bundesliga. But I know you are more in the flow with the footballers and the teams, and also tell me your expectations so far. What do you think, and which Nigerians do you think we should be watching out for once this Bundesliga returns?
Well, yeah, the Bundesliga has actually gained a lot of popularity among Nigerians uh, because we are familiar with the Premier League. Most Nigerians watch the Premier League, but right now the Premier League hasn't returned yet, so we have no choice to watch the Bundesliga. A couple of Nigerians will be making a return also with their clubs, but the one that maybe Nigerians would love to watch is Kingsley, who plays for FC Cologne. He was invited for the Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Sierra Leone, which was postponed due to the coronavirus. He was born in the Netherlands, I think he switched international allegiance to Nigeria through he qualified for Nigeria through his parents. So a lot of Nigerians have not heard from a lot about him. So I'm sure they will be placing an eye on him. Like, okay, they want to know, okay, what is made of. And there are other Nigerians also that I think, okay, will be making action. Jamilu Collins, even though his Paderborn team actually sits bottom of the league, but they face a relegation battle against Fortuna this weekend. So Fortuna is actually 6 points ahead of Paderborn, and a win for Paderborn will pull them closer to Fortuna. So I think these are some of the names that we should be looking out for, Nigerians that we should be looking out for. Maduka Okoye also is there, but I don't think he will get the chance to play. And there's also Anthony Ucha, who plays for Union Berlin, and Suleiman also. So there are a couple of Nigerians also that are playing in the Bundesliga, even the ones that have not declared allegiance to the country. So I think these are some of the names. But moving away from Nigerian stars, also we should also be looking at the title race also. Bayern are currently 4 points clear of Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund face Schalke 04 Schalke this weekend. So there's a lot of action to look forward to. It's actually a good thing that we have live football back, and I see that other leagues are also planning to follow the German authorities suit. The Italian Serie A plans to return on June 13th, while the Spanish La Liga plans to return on June 12th. The English Premier League, there have been arguments whether it's safe to return, but I think they have finally reached a conclusion to return on June 19th. So it's a good thing that football is back.
Yes, I think it's good that football is back, and the Bundesliga, like I said, is leading the charge. It gives them opportunity to drag that we brought football back, and their bench, what do you call it, their brand call is football as it should be played or something, and it just shows the efficiency of the German football system and the society at large. So for many of us, it's good, Anthony Uja, like you said, is playing at Union Berlin. Union Berlin is closed. They play at the Olympia Stadium, but it's unfortunately one can't go to watch these games. Fans are not allowed. So. But we'll be watching and following on TV and seeing how everything pans out. And, talking about the Bundesliga also, it's where, you remember last week there was a controversy of Chinedu Obasi, who played at Hoffenheim in the 2013-2014 season, who, made allegations of being asked to pay bribe to play for Nigeria at the World Cup. It really hit the nerve last week because it was a really big talking point. And I remember having a conversation on Twitter and asking the Nigeria Football Federation and Nigeria Sports Ministry to open investigations into the allegations. At least someone, the top player who played at the under-17, at the under-20, World Cups, and at the 2010 World Cup, has come out to make allegations that he was in asked for bribe to play for the Super Eagles at the 2014 World Cup. And the Minister of Sport did say that in a response to my tweet, this did say that they were going to open up something about it. I mean, we have to speak about these allegations. Are they true? I have my thoughts, but let me hear from you. What do you think about these allegations?
Well, to be honest, I think some of the allegations you made are true. But the thing is, I have a problem with something he said. He said something about if he was a new player or a younger player, I won't have any problem paying for. I think that statement means he's also not clean himself. Because I don't believe he was saying that a country should take its best legs to the World Cup. But now you're saying something else that if you were a younger player, you'll be eager to pay bribe, even though you're not qualified to play at the tournament. But I think it's a big wake up call. We all don't let us try to defend the NFL or maybe the late Stephen Keshi. We all know that what he said was true. If you look at the 2014 World Cup squad, some of the names that made that list had no business in that squad. The likes of, I'm sorry to say, the likes of Michael Uchebo, Michael Babatunde, at least 10 players in that World Cup squad had no business in that list. But we all know that how these things work. I saw a tweet a particular article of an unnamed who said he paid bribe also, but he had to be dropped because another player paid more than him. So I think it's a wake up call. In senior clients, the Football Federation will have opened investigation into this, but because they know that okay, all parties involved, all parties are guilty. Look at the case of Salisu Yusuf. Yes, he was banned for 1 year, but after the 1 year ban, he was recalled back to take charge of Rangers. You understand? Because probably they know that okay, he has some of these information that okay they don't want him to spill out. But I think it's just a disgrace that in 2018 we are still talking about this same issue. This has been going on for a very, very, very long time, which brings me to the argument for local coaches also. Stephen Keshi was in charge then. Keshi may not have collected bribe, yes, but he was complicit. I'm sure that okay, a player wouldn't have been imposed on him if he didn't allow it. So I think these are things that they can try with the local coaches and national teams. And I think that's one of the reasons why they are trying to like okay say okay some of the conditions put some of these conditions or clauses into Raw's new contract, which I think okay Raw is fighting against. If you remember his last interview, he said okay he wants to work freely, so he does not want any interference. So I think it's a wake up call for Nigerians, and I'm surprised that journalists in Nigeria like okay, I think this is an example of investigative journalism. It's a story that okay maybe investigative journalists can do, fish out that okay who are these people that okay they are collecting bribes, that are collecting money for national team slots. But you see on Twitter, you see journalists defending Keshi, defending the NFF that okay Oguke should name names, when we all know that okay these things does not work like that.
Well, I think you have a really good submission made, and the fact is, I praise Obuke for saying his piece and for coming out to say it in public. Many of these footballers have faced it, and it's unfortunate that this is one of the realities of the system that we live in and working in Nigeria, the football system, which is not just the football system, it's the entire country. Parents pay bribes to get kids into universities, or maybe not, they may not call it bribes, maybe thank you, you know, people are expected to do thank you after you do something for them. You come to the public government office, for someone to pick your file, they want to thank you. The one that's called bribe is okay, asking for it beforehand before they pick it. But the one that is most common is for saying thank you after you carry the file. So this is a society-wide issue. But when it comes to football, everything, because there's more focus on footballers and things. And professional footballers, the national team, we get to hear these stories, but it's an unfortunate reality of our country, which is sad to say, to hear, these things happening. But I think Obasi was brave to say this, and like you said, definitely there's no when he said that if he was a younger footballer or a newbie, that if he was asked to pay a bribe, he would would have thought it was better. But there's no good bribe or bad bribe, but that's a symptom of a system where people expect something for everything they do. Even though they are being paid to do their job, they expect a bribe to still get things done. So that being said, the Nigeria squad of 2014, I was at the World Cup in 2014, and after this Obasi comment came out, I just started thinking back to the day the team failed to come to go to training before their second round game against France. I was in front of the hotel in Campinas, of Super Eagles Hotel in Campinas, and we waited for them to come out to train, just to photograph them while going out to train. But they failed to come out. Why? Because they were fighting for their bonuses. And it just occurred to me that if you have paid, so why would people, when they have a game against France that they could potentially win and go to the quarterfinals where no Nigerian team had ever gone to, why would the bonus be the issue? It's because now I think back, I think one of the issues is because if you have paid that much money, $10,000 or whatever, to enter into the team, you don't want to play with the bonus that should accrue to you. And so these players then fight. And as we see, it's a cascading, issues keep coming up because people have paid their way into a team. And so they want to milk everything they can out of that experience. So money then becomes an issue because you have monetized the fact that you are getting players to go into a team. So they also monetize their participation. So now it's no longer pride to play at the World Cup for your country. It is about how much I get out of it. Because I have paid to get into this team, I must be able to get my bonuses out of it. And so you see it's going back and forth between the coaches, the players, the administrators, and you don't know who is going to have mud on them at the end of the day. And I think that's why the federations all are afraid to investigate, to open up the can of worms.
Yeah.
Because you probably hear that somebody here got paid this for a player to enter into the squad. So nobody now wants to take, or to grab the bull by the horns and get into the arena, and say we must investigate because hands are not clean, including many journalists who have access to these coaches, who were friends and were acquaintances, because when they also were representatives of players who spoke to coaches and then got money. So I believe there are many conduit pipes of money flowing back and forth. And it's unfortunate that it will still continue to happen. When I was when I was chief editor at Goal.com, we had a series of letters. I published an article about a young footballer who was denied an opportunity to play in an academic club whenever there were scouts around. And, players from outside, parents will bring their young players and bribe and give some payments to the coaches so that the players who came from outside, brought by their parents, would get to play and be seen by the scouts. Meanwhile, the players who had been in the academy for much longer, who'd been going to train every day, would sit on the bench because they didn't have money to pay to the coaches so that they could be seen by the scouts. So when I published this article, it got, and then I asked for young footballers or people who have played football to respond if they had experiences of their own. We got hundreds of emails, letters stating people being asked to pay bribes for to be scouted, to be fielded at competitions, to enter the national team, and we sent this to officials of the federation, but nothing came out of it. So I don't see, except the sports minister, who seems to be very eager to make a change, gets to the bottom of this. Nothing will come out of overseas allegations. He will be timed as sour grapes, but and it will continue. It will continue, just like as we've seen with the pardoning of Salisu, and the slap on the wrist that he was given. So it's a shame, but it's a system that we live in.
To add to what you just said, it's not just at the national team level. It's even from the grassroots.
That's what I just said. That is even at the grassroots. That is even at the academies. Yes.
Yeah. While growing up, I had a friend, a neighbor, then who was very, very brilliant on the ball. So I think they went for one academy training. Then it was obvious that okay, this guy was good enough. But you know what happened was that he was replaced by someone who came maybe from an influential family who was able to drive his way through. So these are things that okay, it shouldn't even be from the national team level. It should be tackled from the grassroots. Now, if concerning the national team scenario, I don't think NFF has the power, has the authority will want to investigate themselves because I'm sure that everybody in NFF is almost everyone in NFF is guilty. So in such cases like this, I'll suggest maybe like an independent investigative panel. If the Minister of Sports Sunday Dare is actually serious about investigating this, the NFF should not investigate herself, but there should be maybe like an independent investigative panel that will look into this case. But moving away from the national team, the accusation, the allegations Obasi made, this thing needs to be tackled from the grassroots. It starts from the grassroots because NFF officials are not the one running these academies. NFF officials are not the one running these local clubs. It's something that needs to be tackled. And as you said earlier, you said it's like inside the society. But football is also part of the society. You understand? And I think also that to the average Nigerian, he does not see the corruption as a bad thing. In fact, the average Nigerian is finding a way to maybe to cheat the other party. You understand? Like as long as my own is better. He does not care about the other party. So
Yes.
these are some of the things that we as people, as citizens of countries, that we really need to change. You understand that he does not care if as long as I'm okay, I don't care what the consequences of what may happen. I don't care what may happen to the other party. So as ourselves, as citizens, as Nigerians, we need to change our ways first, because we citizens we are the ones that make up the society. You understand? But for these allegations that Obasi made, we can start from there by setting up maybe an independent investigative panel, which I think it is possible. But if the Minister of Sports plans to use the NFF, maybe he wants the NFF to investigate the story, I don't think we'll get to the bottom of it, and I don't think the truth will ever be revealed.
Neither do I. I think if it's NFF that does the investigation, we won't get anything. We saw how they did with Salisu's case. I think nothing, really.
If it was left to the NFF on Salisu's case, I'm sure maybe he wouldn't have gotten that ban itself. Maybe it would have just been a sanction or something. But because FIFA got involved, and I think CAF also got involved, I think that was why, and it was a international embarrassment. So I think that was what happened. And look at him. Salisu Yusuf should not even be managing a local club in Nigeria and again after such issue. What was the difference between what Salisu Yusuf did and the accusation that was leveled against Samson Siasia? Siasia also received bribe, maybe to manipulate matches also, and Salisu Yusuf also received bribe. I don't care maybe the intention, but a bribe is a bribe. So, and you are celebrating someone who collected a bribe, maybe to influence his national team squad. I don't. So I think the NFF investigating this matter won't allow us to see the truth. So it's better maybe an independent panel come in and investigate the matter. But I don't think that's maybe a direction the Minister of Sports will be willing to take.
You're right. I believe it's beyond the NFF now, and we need an independent body to look at these allegations and to try and nip this in the bud finally. I think that would be the great thing to do.
Okay. Anyways, that being said, Nigeria has had some great squad over the past years. So I was just thinking last week or so about okay some of the greatest games that Nigerian teams have been involved in. It doesn't have to be the Super Eagles alone. It could be the Super Falcons. It could be the Under 17 team. So I would like to hear your opinions, your opinion on your top five Nigerian games that you've seen.
It's tough. It's tough. I've seen many good games in person, and I've seen many good games on TV. So maybe I should count down from 5 to 1. I mean, now I'd have to be thinking about. Okay, so I say number 5 would be Nigeria versus Argentina at the Brazil 2014 World Cup. Why is it great for me? Ahmed Musa scored 2 great goals, and we really shook Argentina. They had never seen anything like that from us in the World Cup. We played them 5 times. We've played them 5 times now, but that was the toughest we took them. You know, we this was Lionel Messi in his prime, and Ahmed Musa had 2 great replies to his goals, and they really shook them. And in that game in which city was it again? Curitiba. Was Curitiba? But it was in. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember the name of the city close to the Porto Alegre. It was in Porto Alegre. I think it was a really good game. So that would be my number 5. Number 4, Nigeria versus Cameroon in Uyo when we beat them 4-0. Massive game. They were the defending Africa Cup of Nations champions, and trying to qualify for the World Cup. I think, for me, being in the stadium and seeing the humiliation we gave to Cameroon and their fans who crossed the border from, who came across the border, there were so many in the Uyo Stadium that night. It was huge. It was huge embarrassment for them. Number 3 would be watching another Nigeria versus Cote d'Ivoire in the 2013 Africa Cup of Nations, beating them in the quarterfinals 2-1 with Didier Drogba and Yaya Toure, Kolo Toure, Gervinho, all these boys. It was huge for me. It was really big. Now, number 2 greatest game that I saw or covered would be Nigeria beating. Let me say it's another Ahmed Musa masterclass. Nigeria beating Iceland 2-0. It was a really great game in Russia that day in St. Petersburg. I loved it. And then my greatest game of all time for Nigeria would be Nigeria defeating Brazil. I was still a teenager in '96, so it was Nigeria beating Brazil at Atlanta '96 Olympic Games. It was huge. It was massive. And Kanu scoring the winning goal, to giving us gold medal was top, cream of the pie. So I'd say that's my number 1, Nigeria beating Brazil in the Olympic semi-final. So those are my top 5 Nigeria games. Let me hear your top 5 Nigeria games.
I would have loved to say Nigeria versus Brazil, Atlanta '96, but I was still a toddler then, so I'm not sure. So I'm not sure I actually saw the game. But number 5 on my list may not make many people's number 5, may not make many people's list. But I picked it for this special reason because it was my first live game, watching Nigeria play. I was at Rio last year covering the game for for Soccernet, Nigeria versus Benin Republic. So it was my first live game in stadium watching the Super Eagles. So that's number 5 on my list. I think Osimhen scored a penalty and Samuel Carlos scored the winning goal after Sisseon has put Benin Republic ahead. Then number 4 on my list has to be Nigeria versus, I think Nigeria versus Poland. Yeah, the under 20 boys 2005. I don't know if you remember the game where it was a long penalty shootout.
Yes, I remember. I
That
watched it.
yeah. I think that was one of the most nervous games that I've ever watched I've ever watched. I was too young then also, but I could still remember vividly. Then number three on my list will be the Nigeria versus Senegal game AFCON 2000,
Mm.
where Julius Agawa scored twice. Uh, I think we were losing by a lone goal up until 85th minute before Agawa scored the equalizer. Then the game went into extra time. Then Agawa scored the winner again. He repeated the trick also in 2002, but this time we were on the losing side. Then number two on my list will be the AFCON 2013 final. I think that was the first time. It was our third African title, but it was the first time that I actually saw Nigeria win an African title. Sunday Umba's goal in South Africa. I don't know if you were there that night.
Yes, I was.
Was
I
I
was
was
in the stadium
yeah,
in Johannesburg, in the Soccer City Stadium. Yes, I was there. And it was huge. It was a huge one.
yeah. So I was in Futa then, and it was really really. I remember that everybody was celebrating after we won that night. And number one on my list, this is because I don't think there's anybody that has caused heart pains for Nigerians than Cameroon. And when we actually gained our own revenge in 2004, AFCON 2004, Nigeria versus Cameroon quarterfinal. Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's number one on my list. I remember I came back from church. It was on the Sunday. I remember I came back from church that Sunday, and Eto'o gave Cameroon the lead. Then Okocha scored on the stroke of our time. Beautiful takeoff free kick. I think one of the best goals I've celebrated in my life, in my entire career, in my entire life. And then that wonderful Kano's pass to John Utaka finish it off. In fact, the last 5 minutes, the tension was unbearable for me. So, but the victory was one of the sweetest. That okay, as a fan. So that's why it is number one on my list. Because I remember that 2000, I cried after we lost the final. I
Yeah.
cried after we lost the final. So we seeing us beating Cameroon gave me joy. That's my number one
Yeah.
uh,
I think
greatest
it's a
Nigerian
good
match of all
choice.
time.
I think it's a good choice. I watched that game against Cameroon I was in my final year at Ife, and it was exciting for us. I ran out. It was a Sunday, like you said, and I was in the next room to watch the TV in the Fajri Hall annex, and I ran out onto the field behind us and started. It was crazy. It was like a log of wood was lifted off me, and I felt it was redemption. That we defeated this team that made us cry 2 years. It was 4 years earlier when I was also in Ife there in 2000 when we lost in that final. So it was really big. So I mean, your choices, your list, but we can't. The top five is this the service to the history of the Super Eagles. They've given us great, amazing games over the years. One just has to be partial to choose those ones that you experience and you remember and the feelings. But there are so many. There are so many. There are so many.
Yeah, I'm sure the fans will also love to our readers will also love to share their thoughts on the greatest five matches involving Nigerian teams that they've seen. So viewers, you can actually comment and share your thoughts in the comment section. You share your views or share your thoughts on the greatest five matches you've ever seen from Nigerian teams also. So Lolade, we've come to the end of the show, but once again, it's two things to have live football back, and hopefully um, we could see other leagues also returning as the plan in June. But for now, we'll have to maybe stay close to the Bundesliga. And as you are in Germany, and I hope you could be getting a couple of updates also from you.
Yeah, definitely. I look forward to seeing it. And unfortunately, we can't go to the stadium, yeah, but it's fine. We'll enjoy it. And it shows that the world, our world as it is getting back to normal, but we still have to stay safe. So everybody at home, stay safe. Enjoy your football quietly. No gathering at viewing centers. Just try and watch it in your homes and have a good weekend, everyone.
Yeah, all right. So we'll be back again next week, and hopefully you will enjoy some of the live games in play this weekend. So have a good weekend, everyone.